Hello everyone, I am just going to do a little quick video on that CBX app and just a couple quick words to the wise. You do want to be using this on a tablet, so it's intended to be used on a tablet, whether that's an iPad, a Samsung, or a Surface Pro. However, we have discovered that it does also operate on Windows 10. So if you are using Windows 10, it will work. And to start off, you're going to want to install this, and you're going to want to go to your store. So here is my store. And you're actually going to just, if I was at the home, you are going to go over and you're just going to type in the letter CBX, and then it will come up as an app. Now, I know there's a lot of confusion out there about what CBX is versus CB Exchange, and the way that I like to keep these straight is I think of CBX as an app. CBX has 3 letters, so does app. So CBX is the app, and CB Exchange happens over the web where you exchange information. So today we are talking about the CBX app. So if I actually go in and hit install, it's going to go ahead and download that product to my computer, and as soon as it's done, it will give me the opportunity to launch that product. Now, keep in mind, I'm using my Surface Pro, so this is going to look a little bit different than your screen does. However, if you're using a Samsung or a Droid-based product, they'll go to the Google Play Store, and if you're using an Apple product, you're going to go to the Apple Play Store. Now, if you are using an Apple product, you are going to want to know your Apple ID and password, because in order to install, you do need to know that. If you're using an Android, you should be just fine because you are already logged into your Gmail account, and same for Windows 10. So Windows 10 in that Microsoft Store, it should automatically go. The other thing that you're going to want to know for this is you're going to want to know your CB Exchange username and password. If you don't know that password, you can call the help desk and they can help you get your username and password. The way that you're going to look that up, I'm just going to open up a web browser here really quick to show you where that number is. So I'm just going to type in cbexchange.com. And it's going to be right here in that lower corner. So right here where it says Help Desk, they're going to ask you for your first and last name and your office, and they're going to be able to help you reset that password. So that is where you need to go if you don't know your username and password. If it's your first time logging in, you also need to log into CB Exchange first. So that is what you are going to need to know. And this can go on any device. I had a couple people ask me, well, I have an iPad at my house, but my kids use it for that. This is something that you can actually log in and out of, so you could use it on that iPad that you share, and then it would be really easy for you to just log out and it will save your information. It is an app that's available to everybody on the store. However, you cannot log in unless you are a Coldwell Banker agent. So only Coldwell Banker agents have access to this information. So I'm going to go ahead and type in my username and password. And I'm going to go ahead and say log in. When I log in, I'm going to get a screen that looks like this. So you can see I've got different presentations on here, and you can save those presentations. And this today we're just going to quickly go through and add a new presentation. So here it is. Know that you can add a home photo. So this is an optional thing, but you can easily drive by. If you say, hey, I want to take a picture, you can. I'm actually going to take a picture right now really quick. And I'm going to say, here it is. Oh, and that's me. Hello. And we can use that picture. So then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and put the title in here, and keep in mind when you're using this that this is a tool for listings, but how you integrate it into your listings is up to you. So some of you might do this all prior to going to the home. Some of you may do it after you go to the home. Some of you may do it while you're at the home, but that is really going to be up to you and how you use this tool. It's really just meant to be a tool for you to use. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the name of the home, and we will call it Rich and Kelsey's house. And then the address, and the city, and the state, and then you're going to enter in the square footage of the house, and how many bedrooms and bathrooms, and save and continue, and then it's going to bring up this next screen. The next screen is going to let you actually decide about listing price. So you can use a price range. It's actually powered by RPR. And so it's going to actually go into RPR and say, hey, is there a suggested list price? There is. You can view now and you can say, hey, what is the value change or the value that this is giving it? You can use the range. So you can use this price, you can use the price range, or you can say no thank you. The neat thing about RPR too is you can see actually the estimated change in the last 12 months and the last month what that value has changed as. So let's say use this price range. The other thing that's really neat is you can go in and you can make price adjustments. So if you're using this as a post listing tool, you can actually go in and say, hey, I know they did a kitchen remodel and that added $4,000 to their home. They redid they added a half bath and that's going to add $2,500. But they also have some yard issues and so that is actually going to take away. They've got about $2,500 worth of issues there, and that is going to subtract from the price, and you can start to make those adjustments. Now, if you're using it live, you can make those adjustments live as you're going through with the actual client once you're comfortable, or prior to, obviously, you would just punch them in. So I'm going to go ahead and say save and continue, and then it's going to bring up this map. So here it is. It's going to map it. If it is not in the right place, you can actually click and you can move the map, and if I right click, I'm going to hit adjust map location, and it says tap and drag, so I'm going to tap and drag it to the right location and then push save. So pretty easy there. The next part that you can do is you can actually go in and start to profile the buyer. So you can actually see the home buyer profile. This is a dynamic view of not just what the price range for this house should be, but who is going to buy this house. So what's the average debt? What's the increase in residents' home income? What are the top 3 areas? So you might want to say, hey, these are the top 3 areas moving to Kootenai County. Here's the zip code profile. I want to know about the average median age and the average family size and this, and then I want to say, here we go, map this buyer profile, and it is actually going to map where that is. And if I scroll out, it should include also, oh, and it doesn't. I thought it would include King County as well, but this is going to show you where in our area these people are living. So you can really start to put together a farm of where these buyers are at. That next click on it is going to be your CB Intelligence. So this is where you can say, hey, what's the average home value in this area? What is the 2014 to 2019 annual compound growth rate? So what are the projected growth for our area? What is the average value of owner-occupied housing units? So let's take the rentals out and see what that looks like over time. You can actually sign in with your LinkedIn and it will unlock employer information. So that's an option as well. What are the average property taxes? Let's go average home improvement spending, the average home value, total housing units, and I can close that down. The next part of this is actually the map layer. So here's the cool part, is you can actually say, I want to preview homes occupied by owners, and I want to preview households that have changed hands. The other thing that you can do is you can map comparable homes. So you can say, hey, I want to map, if this home is listed about $241,000, I want to map everything that's $235,000 to $250,000, and I want to map and edit the comp. So I'm going to put in recently sold. Now, we are a non-disclosure state. So this is pulling information from Coldwell Banker as far as what it knows. The other thing that you have down here, though, that's really cool is you can add customizable comparable homes. And this came up in class. So if I click on this home, it's going to show this with no photo. But I can go to add customizable comparable, and I can actually manually add the address in, the city, the state, the bedrooms, the square foot, that it's a recently sold, and I can add a home photo. So you can actually go in and pull a report from MLS about comparable homes and that were recently sold, and you can put those on here. You can also put in for sale homes. So you could have a really vast thing of, hey, here's what's just sold, so let's talk about pricing your home, and now let's look at the houses that are for sale that you are competing against. So really easy to do, and really easy to maintain. So then you have a couple options. I'm going to go ahead and go back because I did not create a comparable, but I'm just going to put these on here for example's sake. And I'm going to say save and close, and that data is saved. So once you do that, you can actually go through and you can say, hey, I want to preview this information, and you can actually start to preview information in here. The other thing is this export button this is going to talk about what you want to export. Do you want to see everything that you just did, or do you want to do individual JPEGs? So you can say, hey, buyer, I want to see this, and this, and this. I want to say top 10, and I want to do the CB intelligence, and I want heat layer maps and households that have changed, those two things, and I can say export. And it is actually going to go through and it is going to export this into a beautiful PDF. It's going to, at the end of this, ask me where I want to email it. Now, as you're learning new technology, it is always the best practice to use yourself as an example first. So whether it is Authentisign or FlexMLS or CBX or an email drip marketing campaign, it is always a good idea to use yourself as the guinea pig first and send yourself something first and practice it before you send it to a client. The reason is, inevitably, someone is going to call you and say, I don't know how to do this, can you help me? Or I forgot my password, or how does this work? People are frustrated with technology all the time, and everybody has a very different skill set when it comes to technology. So I highly recommend that you get into the program and you really make the program and use it and send it to yourself and practice doing a listing presentation in front of your spouse or a good friend. It will always be harder in front of a spouse or a good friend than it will be in front of a client, and if you're practicing, you'll be set up for success. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to send this to myself. Your home report. Can't wait to see you next week. So you can actually go in and then say send, and it's going to email me that. So now that is done, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. The other thing I did want to show you though is on here is if I go into map layers and I want to see neighborhood segmentation, this is a really cool feature that will link into the Facebook advertising that we use. And you can actually say map this segmentation, and it's going to take a minute to load because it's a lot of information, but it's really cool information. So as it maps in different colors, and these colors all mean something different. So I can actually see that in Coeur d'Alene that the household type is singles, housing family is single family multi-units. This market features singles lifestyles on a budget. The focus is more on convenience than consumerism, and it tells a little bit about that area. Now, I can also see that this over here in Spokane has the same idea, but the really cool thing is you can scroll out. And since we had our commercial forum yesterday, you can also know that most of the people are coming from California and Washington. So we're just going to look at Washington as an example. And I'm going to go over to Seattle, to King County. And I can actually scroll in and say, let's look at Tacoma. And these blue spots are going to have really similar lifestyle wants. So let's look at Milton. Bright and young. So here it is. Housing type is the same. Young, educated, working professionals. They're single family homes. And you can really start to see what other areas have similar lifestyles to ours. And you can start to do some target marketing to those areas. So pretty cool thing and cool way to do some marketing and really say like, hey, Mr. Buyer or Mr. Seller, it's really exciting that you're going to sell your home, and in Coeur d'Alene, this is the typical demographic, and let's look at what the profiles look like in neighborhoods around our area, but then let's also look at how we can see the people from out of state that match the lifestyle profile of Coeur d'Alene. So that's a great tool for you to use. Again, get in, play with it. You're not going to break it. I'm going to go ahead and say done. I'm going to save and exit. Here's the neat thing is now I can say, here it is, Rich and Kelsey's house. You can go in at any time and edit these things. Here's the launch, so I can actually launch this, and it's going to take me through all of that information. So I can click on buyer profile, and here's my home buyer profile. I can click on intelligence. I can go to map layers, and I can do this live in front of the client. And once I click map these comparables, they're going to pop up on the screen. Here it is, and really exciting information, really easy to do. And it's however you want to do it. If you're more comfortable doing the presentation on your tablet live like that, or if you'd much rather have a video or an actual paper printout, you can do either. I'm actually going to log into my email right now and show you what that looks like. So here it is in my email, CBX presentation, your home report, Rich's and Kelsey's house. And when I click on it, it's going to download that PDF, and it's going to actually show me what that looks like. So here I go, and I open it up. And it is actually going to say, here it is, my information. Here is my information, the price adjustments that you've made. Here's your home buyer profile. Here's the detail match results. Which there's a lot. I mean, there's 16 pages of information here, and it was really a 10-minute go through and click and put information in. So here's the information on the Coldwell Banker Intelligence. Here's the average home value. Here's the households that have changed hands. So this is what that heat map looks like. You can see if it's dark blue, there's a lot. If it's light blue, so we're right in that middle range of how many homes are changing hands. Homes occupied by owners. So you can see over here in Post Falls, there's a much higher density. Post Falls, Hayden, and Dalton Gardens, where Coeur d'Alene has a little lighter coloring. And you have all of that information right at your fingertips. So how you use this is up to you again, but I really highly encourage you all to get in and try it and just really start to try technology. I know that it's intimidating, but I think with a little work and a little testing on yourself, I mean, you can either discover if you like it or you don't like it, but there's always a few things you can take away. Again, hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.